Welcome, everybody, to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week sees the comedy hijinks of Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, hitting store shelves, along with the action war extravaganza Shadow in the Cloud, the dramatic and historical tale The Reckoning. And Scorpion Releasing is presenting a Blu-ray edition of the 1975 sci-fi action adventure classic Rollerball, plus much, much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we are at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. All right, everybody, we are at Walmart, man. Oh, Lord, look at this, man. Ay, ay, ay. They were doing so good, too. Whew, man. Well, the good news is at least they have Wonder Woman 1984 out this time around. And it actually might have been that they've put it out for a while, because it looks like they've kind of sold out of some of the Wonder Woman, man. I mean, they did have the BD and the DVD, and of course the actual 2-pack of Wonder Woman and 84. So it actually looks like they sold quite a bit of them. They must have put it out not too long after I showed it off last week, but at least they sold a good amount of it. And actually something that I'm noticing is that the DVD of Wonder Woman 1984 here at Walmart is actually a different cover than the DVD ones that we saw last week. So I'm assuming that this one here is an actual Walmart exclusive for the DVD itself, this actual cover, because the other ones didn't have this. So that's kind of actually cool. If you're a fan of DVDs, an interesting Walmart exclusive for the artwork of Wonder Woman 84. Not half bad on that one, guys. Of course, they did sell a decent amount of, which is good. Just wish they had put it out actually on release day. Oh, whatever, man. So, that's interesting. They also end up having, over here that I'm seeing, they have The Toll. Of course they do. Look at this. What a joke. I mean, not the movie. The movie's kind of okay, but it's just The Toll, man. Oh, God. What a terrible horror villain, or an attempt at a horror villain, I should say. I mean, come on, look at that, dude. It looks like some guy just basically splashed all over his face. God. They couldn't come up with anything better, seriously. But something that did come out this week, actually, is the DVD of Skyfire for $9.96. Now, if you guys remember, I actually ended up talking about this movie, maybe like a month or two back. I actually did. I got Skyfire as a review copy from the UK, and I talked about it at the end of one of the Out and Abouts. If you haven't checked that out, definitely do it. And I got to admit, this is a really solid disaster movie. I really like this one a lot. I won't talk too much about it, but what I will say is it's kind of like this geological incident with this volcano that this company doesn't listen to the warnings, and basically all hell breaks loose from there, man. And it's got some really cool special effects. It's got some really great action sequences. You care for some of the characters. It's pretty decent. It's not like the best be-all, end-all disaster film of all time, but I gotta admit, though, it was extremely entertaining. And for a disaster film, that's pretty much all I'm asking for, man. I mean, a really, really great flick. Definitely worth diving into for anyone who's a disaster lover. Skyfire definitely does the trick, man. Not gonna lie on that one. Other than that, I gotta admit, guys, it's pretty bare here, man. I mean, they don't have Shadow in the Cloud. They don't have Barb and Star. They got none of the major stuff this week. But hey, at least they finally have Wonder Woman 84. Better late than never. Maybe next week we'll see the other releases. Let's hope. All right. Let's head out. Oh boy. Yep. Walmart back to its old ways again. Of course it is. And actually, I was hoping for maybe a little bit better because I'm doing this a day late, guys, because I got my second COVID vaccine shot and I was laid up all of Tuesday, literally in bed in excruciating, like, numbing pain, and I could barely move. And so I was figured, okay, when I come back into these places, it's a day later, so clearly all the physical media goodness, right? Yeah, no. Unfortunately, that was definitely not the case, guys, especially with this Walmart. I mean, maybe they just didn't get the stock in, because usually the older woman who stocks usually does a good job. Maybe they just didn't get the stuff in this time around, or maybe she wasn't working and the other employees just decided to not really give a crap. That could have been the case, though. That could have been the honest case. This Walmart is now going to become a week late and $1 short. That's pretty much what it's going to be now, man. They can always turn it around. They have in the past recently, but then again, they went right back to their old ways. Let's hope they change, but I have a feeling this Walmart's going to be very flip-floppy. Sometimes really good and sometimes really bad, but hey, always willing to give a store a chance regardless, even though I pretty much know what the outcome is. Sad but true. Hey, at least they had Wonder Woman, and next week they'll have the new releases for this week. Yeah. Always expect the expected, especially with this Walmart. Alright, well, not much to see, a few interesting things, but let's hope that the next location has more physical media goodness worth checking out. Alright, everybody, we are at our second location, Target. But before we go in, I gotta talk to you guys about something. Now, I was actually reading this article from Variety, which is kind of interesting. Godzilla vs. Kong is a box office and HBO Max hit. Will it shake up the future of moviegoing? There we go, baby. After months of new releases bringing in lackluster box office ticket sales, Godzilla vs. Kong racked up $48.5 million in its first 5 days in theaters. It's the best showing by a landslide for a movie since the pandemic struck. It's the kind of hybrid release that would have seemed impossible to pull off prior to the pandemic. Today, it's the clearest indication yet that COVID-19 has forever changed how movies will be distributed by the same day release of in theaters and on HBO Max. Now, the fact that this is gaining so much buzz and generating so much money despite being on the streaming site at the same time does say a lot, though. Box office analysts admit it's difficult to draw conclusions considering the lack of transparency from streaming statistics, which is true. Now, with Godzilla vs. Kong, Warner Brothers said the Monster Temple had a larger viewing audience than any other film or show on HBO Max since launch. And on top of that, it did say that it could be going to possibly a 100 million mark. It could be crossing that very soon. At the same time, they see the popularity in streaming continuing, and where does this go for the future of movie going as far as being in theaters? Is this a sign that movie theaters are coming back? Or is it just a one and done situation and that was Godzilla vs. Kong? And not everyone is going to replicate that same success. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed, man. And, you know, if you remember last year, remember that Tenet was supposed to be the savior of the box office. Remember that? Like everybody was like, put Tenet out. Because Tenet is going to prove that the box office is still healthy and mighty and we could release all these movies. And they did. And nothing. It flopped. And that just went to show that no one was ready to go back to the movie theaters at that point. And so now, you know, we look at being now in April of 2021. The pandemic is still going. It's getting better day by day. Things are slowly opening up day by day. And movie theaters are slowly opening up. A lot of them are opening at the end of April, beginning of May. And so there's a sense that
things are slowly getting better, but does that mean that the movies are going to prove to be successes again at the box office? Godzilla vs. Kong proves that it's possible. I mean, especially if it crosses over 100 million, then that is very, very successful. I mean, that is a win. Consider that a win. I mean, most times, if you were to say Godzilla vs. Kong getting to $100 million would be a win, most people would say that wouldn't be a win. That would be a small thing. But the fact that it would get to that point, I think, would say big leaps and bounds. At the same time, streaming services need content, and HBO Max seems to be doing pretty well. So, where does that go exactly? If the box office stuff is a success, and I hope it is, then that means that the streaming services won't have the content that they've been having for a year or so. And that means that they're losing out on the streaming side of things. Yes, the box office side of stuff is going to be helped, but the streaming side, not so much. It's hand in hand, dare I say. It's very much hand in hand, and I don't know at the end of the day who is ultimately going to win out. I hope movie theaters win out because I'm not going to lie, I haven't been to a movie in the theater since March of last year. It's literally been over a year for me since I've even seen a movie in the theater. Now, mine here in my state have not opened up yet. They're opening up the end of April, beginning of May. However, as much as people are very interested in going back to the theater experience, there is still a lot of hesitancy. Is every movie going to be as remotely successful as Godzilla v. Kong? If you're a summer blockbuster movie like a Mortal Kombat or a Godzilla vs. Kong or some of those other big tentpole movies, then there's a possibility that I think you will get the money. I think you will make the dollars enough to get the support from the studios. But what about the smaller films? I don't think the smaller films are even going to get close to that. So I think right now it's still very picky and choosy as far as what's going to be released, as far as what's going to attract people to go to the movie theater. Again, the experience of Godzilla vs. Kong is a massive experience. It's a movie experience. These titans coming together on the big screen. That's something to see. A smaller film, not so much. So, how does streaming services and movie theater chains, how do they make this work exactly? Now we're in this weird transition of wanting to get back to the box office, but yet a little bit of hesitancy of what's going to be the right releases to put out and what isn't, and what's going to make the money and what isn't, and what's proper to put on streaming versus in movie theaters. It's a very interesting thing to think about at this point, and I don't know if there's an exact full 100% answer to that. I think it's fascinating though, but I don't know exactly if one side is truly right over the other. I'm very curious as to what you guys think about this. Definitely let me know, man. I think it's great that theaters are opening up, but for the time being, we got to be a little bit more picky and choosy about it. Curious as to what you guys think. But in the meantime, it was a little rough at the first Walmart, but let's hope that Target has some interesting stuff we're checking out, right? Well, only way to find out is to head inside, so let's go in and check it out. All right, we are in at Target, and actually some new releases worth checking out over here at Target. And also I'm noticing a lot of Wonder Woman 84 love still, all of the different formats and the exclusive packaging as well. Decent amount of them actually. A lot of love still for Wonder Woman 84 and a lot of love still for Soul. A lot of the exclusives still. Nice. I mean, they still have a bunch of it. I'm kind of surprised, especially with Wonder Woman 84. I thought they'd definitely sell out of this, but hey. Well, look, man. I mean, I told you guys I wasn't a big fan of the movie, and I think a lot of people are maybe waiting for a deal instead of paying the full price for that. Just saying. You may be waiting a while, but considering the movie was kind of
might be worth it, man. But we're here for the new releases. And we got 'em, man, with Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. The Blu-ray DVD digital for $17.99, the DVD for $14.99, and we actually have an only at Target exclusive for this movie, Blu-ray DVD digital for $17.99 as well. It includes the exclusive lenticular packaging and over 30 minutes of bonus content on the Blu-ray disc. Always appreciate a little bit of lenticular love, man. However, I don't care how good the lenticular packaging is, you can't polish a turd. And I am serious, man. You cannot polish a turd. I'm going to be real with you guys. I saw this movie on Amazon Prime, and fuck my ever goddamn life I did, man. Jesus. I don't know why I watched this, man. I mean, I'm not a fan of Kristen Wiig, not a fan of her comedy. This movie looked god-awful from the previews. I just did, because what the hell, man. I'll just torture my eyeballs for you guys. Why the hell not? And so, man, this is a hot steaming turd, man. Damn. So, God, how do I even describe this? Basically, Barb and Star are the best of friends, and they're the only friends that they got, pretty much. And they're kind of going through a weird kind of midlife crisis, almost. A lot of things are going bad in their life, and they decide, hey, why not take a vacation to Vista Del Mar? And, maybe sort out the troubles in their life and kind of get away for a little bit, right? However, that's not the most weirdest part about this movie, okay? There is actually a nefarious albino villain who wants to blow up Vista Del Mar because of something that happened in her past, and Barb and Star have to defeat the evil albino and save the Vista Del Mar community. What? What the hell? And somehow Jamie Dornan is in here, and he's in love with the evil albino, but then meets Barb and Star and falls in love with them and finds a heart of gold. What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ, man. This movie, my God, this movie was a real pain in the ass to get through. And I'm serious, man. I mean, the jokes here are the lamest of lame. None of them hit whatsoever. And it's all kinds of jokes. It's literally, I guess I would say this movie is the equivalent of literally throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. Literally. Because I'm telling you, not much of it fucking sticks at all, man. I mean, I'm serious, dude. I mean, they do every kind of joke in the book. The most awkward of jokes, ones that come out of nowhere, that don't even belong in the movie. Song and dance numbers. You have a scene where there's a talking crab that spouts philosophical moments that just happens to be voiced by Morgan Freeman. Of course, because why not? That has to be funny, right? You have old people jokes in here. You have lame sex jokes. You have evil villain jokes that come straight out of Austin Powers. Like 20 years ago. Jokes that might have hit 20 years ago that literally they're 20 years late on. They decide, oh, this must be funny. So let's throw this shit in there. I mean, everything in the kitchen sink is in this movie, and none of it lands, dude. And not only that, but I'm sorry, but the comedy stylings of Kristen Wiig never really fit me whatsoever. I never got into it. I never did at all, man. I wish I would have. A lot of people seem to like Kristen Wiig. I don't. I don't seem to like her at all, man. I think her comedy is lame. I think she's one of those actresses that just is, to me, kind of almost tries too hard, dare I say. I mean, really. And this movie is the equivalent of just trying way too hard to make something funny and not succeeding in the least bit. I mean, God, I guess if I had to say who this movie would be for, is if you like goofy comedies. if you like goofy comedies, then maybe this is for you, but that's not even true because I like goofy comedies. I really do. I like a lot of weird, goofy comedies, man. And ones that are even kind of cool little spy comedies, like The Man Who Knew Too Little, or Burn After Reading, Top Secret, which is a really great one with Val Kilmer. I mean, yes, The Man Who Knew Too Little is goofy and ridiculous and kind of over the top. There's something about Bill Murray playing this bumbling idiot and just happening to save the day that kind of works for that movie. And it's the same thing with Val Kilmer in Top Secret, or even the goofy stuff in Burn After Reading works for that particular movie. But this just feels like it's literally cramming everything in, man. I mean, stuff that literally doesn't belong in the movie. I mean, there's literally a scene at the end of the movie where Barb and Star save the day, and they're going to be drowning, and they're going to die, and they're saved by Reba McEntire, who is literally swimming them to safety, and they're riding on sea turtles that are commanded by Reba motherfucking McEntire. I'm serious. Why? Why not? I mean, just makes sense that there would be Reba McEntire. If there's a fucking talking crab that's voiced by Morgan Freeman, why wouldn't there be Reba McEntire swimming them to safety on sea turtles? What? There's like literally, it's just literally random jokes crammed in for the sake of just jamming them in. And just imagine, by the way, me watching this movie, right? And I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking, this is going to be just a regular mundane comedy, whatever. It's going to be mundane. And in the first 5 or 10 minutes, there's this whole thing with the albino evil villain and their secret lair and Jamie Dornan who's pining for the evil albino. And I'm like, what? This is straight out of Austin Powers. This is straight out of like Dr. Evil. I would rather see Jamie Dornan in the Red Room whipping and banging Dakota Johnson than I would ever see him like dealing with the evil albino or having sex with Kristen Wiig. Oh God, man, Jesus. If I had to pick between him having sex with Kristen Wiig or him having sex with Dakota Johnson, Jesus, man, is that really is that really even a contest? I mean, no, it's not. God, it's not even a contest, man. Good Lord. I mean, boy, talk about trading down. Shit. Dude, you know what this felt like to me? This felt like, you know, a okay-ish to average SNL skit turned into a movie that didn't work. Now, I know that's not the case, but it really feels that way. You know, it feels like something like It's Pat or Stewart Saves His Family, something like that. I mean, even those movies, as mundane and kind of forgettable as they are, I still found enjoyment out of those movies. I can't find a single enjoyment out of Barb and Star. I was literally at home watching this and literally in pain from my second COVID shot. And I was more in pain from watching this fucking movie than I was the actual vaccine shot. Fuck, man. That's bad, dude. This movie, I kid you not, guys. This movie is literally, dare I say, man, this movie is as bad, if not worse, than Jack and Jill. I'm serious. Like, at least with Jack and Jill, I might find a couple things worth liking, maybe. This thing is like bottom of the barrel shittiness. I mean, this has got to be one of the worst comedies that I have ever seen, and especially in the last, like, 10 to 20 years, it's got to be one of the worst, man. I know there's some people that really like this movie, and God bless their heart and soul, but damn, this movie is hot garbage. This is literally like they literally put like sparkles on a turd and fried it up and packaged it and said, "Hey, the latest comedy." And I'm like, oh, fuck my life. This movie is a piece of shit, man. And I had to be real with you guys. I had to rant. Because if I didn't, I wasn't gonna feel good. I wanted to get it off my conscience of how bad this movie is, man. There's more to say about it, but damn, dude, this movie is the equivalent of a hot mess, and it deserves to be forgotten in a big bad way, dude. Damn. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, man. They could go to hell as far as I'm concerned. And this lenticular slip, as cool as the lenticular slip looks, and it looks cool, man. I would rather wipe my ass with the lenticular slip than ever watch this fucking movie again, man. This movie can literally go to movie motherfucking jail. And then I'm seeing the Blu-ray of Shadow in the Cloud for $29.99, the DVD for $14.99. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime. I wanted to because I thought the trailer was really intriguing, and I also like Chloe Grace Moretz, so I figure why not give it a chance. Now, basically what this is about is this female captain played by Chloe Grace Moretz in World War II. She gets on board this plane with an all-male crew, and they don't take too kindly to her being on board, but she has to be on board this plane because she actually has this top secret package that needs to get to a certain place at a certain time, and she needs to be on board this. She has her orders, and whether they like it or not, they have to deal with her. So she is on this plane whether they like it or not, and while on the flight, she's noticing that there's this weird almost like creature on the outside of the plane that's trying to tear apart the plane and wreak havoc. And so she's trying to figure out what's going on, but also having to deal with being questioned by this all-male crew and what her intentions really are. It's a very interesting movie, man, and I really enjoyed it quite a bit. It almost, when I was watching it, it almost made me feel like this could have been like a radio play that they could have done back in the day on the radio. It really felt like that, man. I mean, that, or it could have been a part of, like, Amazing Stories or The Twilight Zone or something. One episode of that just really extended into a feature-length film. I thought the acting was really great here. I like Chloe Grace Moretz here. She plays a very strong, very take charge female character in this. And what I really like about that is that, while everyone is really questioning her, and yes, her intentions are very, very questionable at times, you never question the fact that she is a soldier through and through. She's somebody who has the toughness to deal with these male counterparts. She's somebody who definitely has been through the ringer, and she is somebody who definitely doesn't take anybody's shit. And I really do appreciate that, man. I thought Chloe Grace Moretz did a great job, as did all of the male actors as well. I mean, for most of the movie, you don't get to see the majority of the male actors. It's really mostly, you hear their voices, and they're talking to her through the transmission, through the headphones. And so, like I said, it's very much the feeling of like a radio play of you get to know these characters through their voices, and basically them questioning her motives. And I really like that quite a bit, man. This story is mainly focused on Chloe Grace Moretz, and again, she has to carry this movie, and she carries it fantastically. She's tough as nails. She does the action really well. She does the dramatic moments well. She does the sad moments really well. The tension, she does it all really fantastically, and she pulls it off in a fantastic way, man. So I really love this movie quite a bit, man. The action scenes are really cool, and I even like the creature. The creature almost looks like something out of like Cloverfield or some shit. Those look really weird, almost like a large rat, but has the face of like the Cloverfield monster or some shit. Like, it looks really weird, but I like the design of it. I thought the CGI was pretty cool. It kind of reminded me of old school World War II stuff. You know, it has the flavor of World War II action, but yet that sort of sci-fi horror bend, which I really did appreciate, man. I thought it was really well done. It's a quick movie. It's not that long, and it's exciting. It's in just enough time to hold your interest. And Chloe Grace Moretz is badass in it. How much more do you really want, man? I thought it was pretty decent overall, and I really did enjoy this one. I mean, if you like a good World War II action tale, I mean, yeah, there is moments in this film where you have to suspend a certain amount of disbelief. Like there is certain moments in the film where you're like, "Oh, come on. Like really come on. That's ridiculous." But then again, if you suspend the disbelief enough and just go with it, I think you're going to really enjoy this one. It's a good little fantasy World War II tale that I really thoroughly enjoyed. I'm also seeing they have the Blu-ray DVD of Earwig and the Witch, the actual limited edition steelbook for $25.99. I haven't heard of this, but I know this is a new release this week. Studio Ghibli. I like that. What is this about? Don't miss a bewitching new film, the entire family. Growing up in an orphanage in the British countryside, Earwig is her mother had magical powers. Apparently, when a strange what takes her in, there's a witch, looking for the secrets, spells and potions. Ooh, interesting. So it's almost like, I don't know, like a female Harry Potter? Or like a female version of Harry Potter, I guess. Like, sort of like the British female Harry Potter. Very, very interesting, man. I gotta admit, I don't really dive much into anime all that much. I've told you guys that so many times, man. I mean, but then again, a lot of you guys have told me how great a lot of the anime stuff is. I mean, truly, you guys have go out of your way to say how some of that stuff really is truly wonderful, man. And so I know I gotta dive into it, and I know that Studio Ghibli is some of the best, man. They've done some really, really great stuff, man. Studio Ghibli is like one of the premier places for anime, or especially like award-winning anime, I should say. I definitely would be interested in checking out some Studio Ghibli stuff. The animation kind of looks cool just from some of the still imagery. Doesn't look half bad, man. And I like the whole idea of the witches and potions and the mystery. Sounds very intriguing, and I like some of the witch and witchcraft stuff, man. I mean, the Harry Potter franchise is pretty cool, and some of the old stuff back in the day I really loved. This looks very unique and interesting to me. I'm definitely fascinated by it, and I definitely got to look into this more. If you guys know much about it, definitely let me know, and let me know if it's worth it just for Studio Ghibli alone. Definitely let me know on that, guys. But that looks cool, and the limited edition steelbook, not half bad, man. Pretty damn cool, dare I say, man. And pretty good overall this week. I mean, a few releases, but compared to what we saw over at Walmart, hey, I'll take it, man. Not half bad. All right, let's head out. Well, at least we got new release love over here at Target, man. However, it was Barb and Star. Ugh, God. You know what? Instead of the United States government using waterboarding, just have their enemies watch Barb and Star. I guarantee you, they'll give up the answer sooner than you'd think. That's for damn sure, man. But hey, at least we got to see a exclusive for Barb and Star. Literally a lenticular packaging for a very shitty movie. The movies that get exclusives sometimes boggle my mind, guys. But hey, an exclusive is an exclusive. We got to see it, plus a couple of other releases as well. That limited edition steelbook for that Studio Ghibli movie, not half bad either. So Target didn't do too bad this week, all things considered, man. It's a kind of a slower release week, not a ton being out, but hey, a little goes a long way, and Target did supply some of the new release love, so gotta give them that, man. Not half bad, all things considered. All right, man. I mean, hey, we did see a little bit more. Let's hope next location it keeps the ball rolling with more physical media love. All right, everybody. We are at our third location.
the second Walmart. I'm going to go in and check out if there's any interesting indie titles worth checking out this week. If there is, I'll bring it back to Film Fan 108 HQ and show it off to each and every one of you. Now, before I do that, I got to talk about a trailer with you guys, and that is none other than Wrath of Man. Starring Jason motherfucking Statham, man. Yeah, dude. Trailer came out not too long back, man. I finally got a chance to watch it, and this one looks badass, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Basically, from what I gather in the trailer, Statham is working for this sort of bank company where they protect the money and the assets, and you know, he's very trained in what he does, and maybe he's too good at it, because there's one day where a bank job goes horribly wrong, his son gets killed, he figures it's an inside job, and he is ready to take out every motherfucker that ruined his life, almost killed him, and killed his son. He wants revenge, and he is not going to spare anybody's life. He is literally going to savagely tear apart everybody that had any involvement in this, man. It's just badass Statham, man, doing what badass Statham motherfucking does, man. I gotta admit, I really like this trailer, man, and it looks like just a very kick-ass movie, you know, no remorse, taking lives. I love that, and I love when Statham does this, man. This is the Statham that I love. Yeah, you know, there's a part of me that likes sort of quirky, British, badass Statham, but I like the Statham where, like, it's, like, literally dark, doesn't give a shit, no remorse, and he is out for everybody's life. And I love that, man. These are the type of roles that I think, man, truly define him. And this is one of them. On top of that, it's directed by Guy Ritchie. And I'm really intrigued by the fact that it's directed by Guy Ritchie, because he's never really done a movie like this before. I mean, yeah, he's done crime movies, but he's done sort of British crime movies where there's always that sort of kitschy British sensibility to it. He's never done something like absolutely ultra mega serious, as far as I remember. Something that literally is like, this thing is not meant for joking around. This thing is not like, you know, hey, you know, a little quirky joke here and then, you know, whatever. It's like, no, this is like badass, like John Wick level shit. And it looks awesome, man. It truly, truly looks fantastic. Statham looks like he is in the zone here. I am so interested to see Guy Ritchie's approach to this, because he's such a unique filmmaker now. I mean, doing stuff back in the day like Snatch or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, it was cool. But then, you know, he did something like Aladdin, which no one expected to be that good, and it really surprised people. And now doing something like this, he's definitely branching out, and I really appreciate that, man. I think the action scenes are going to be really kick-ass. I think it's going to be brutal as hell. Mark me down for this one, man. You know, ever since sort of John Wick came out, it sort of changed the game in a lot of ways for action movies. It's just been, things have gotten taken to the next level, and everybody is trying to outdo each other and just be more badass and more brutal, and I just love it, dude. I absolutely love it, man. So mark me down as somebody who is greatly going to look forward to this and appreciate this. And anytime I get to see badass, you know, unremorseful, kick-ass Statham, consider me a very happy man, dude. And this looks like a winner. Definitely let me know what you think about that one, man. In the meantime, let's head into the second Walmart and see what goodies we may find. Yes, the second Walmart is upon us, and I have to admit that I was starting to think that we wouldn't see a lot of media this week. I mean, outside of a few titles here and there, I didn't really think we'd see too much. However, that being said, I was ready to prepare like the second Walmart dead zone, right? Because I'm like, okay, not much media came out this week, kind of a slower release week. What the hell was I thinking? Because literally, I'm here at the second Walmart, and there are so many titles to check out this week. Holy shit, like the indie goodness is overflowing at the second Walmart. I'm so serious, guys. There is so much media here to check out. It's insane.
I thought it was going to be a dead zone, but this second Walmart so proved me wrong, man. It is wild how much titles are here. For a slow release week, man, it don't seem like that way here at the second Walmart, dude. Business is booming, and booming big time, so you know what that means. Seth, think it's time to show off that physical media, buddy.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I will. Believe that, baby. Yes, I will, man. You guys know I'm gonna show off the physical media love. Why wouldn't I? I mean, it's second Walmart goodness. I mean, we gotta find some really great treasures, man. And this time around, damn, I think there's gonna be some good ones, guys. Indeed, I think so, man. But you know what? It's kind of interesting because I don't know. I had a weird feeling this week because there wasn't really a lot of huge physical media coming out outside of a few titles here and a few titles there that I just kind of thought that maybe this week was going to be a little bit of a dead zone. I mean, not that every week has to be the most plentiful physical media of all time. I mean, it would help. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? I just didn't think we'd kind of get it. But, you know, it just goes to show you that you never really know what you're going to find until you enter the stores, man. I mean, and actually it's kind of really interesting too because I love surprises. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, you know when you're going into these stores, you're getting the new releases, you're getting the Barb and Stars, and you're getting Shadow in the Cloud, and you know you're getting Wonder Woman 84, and you're getting all of these things, right? You know what you're getting, and then you get a cool little surprise along the way that you're like, wow, this is interesting. I've never seen this one before, and that's one of the best things about the thrill of the hunt, right? I mean, we've all been there, right? We've all went out and looked at the physical media. It doesn't matter whether we're going to thrift stores or the big retail chains. It doesn't matter. You know, you're perusing around the physical media and you see something new and interesting or oddly, you know, bizarre, out of place. You've never seen it before, and it's sort of fascinating to you. And it's those gems, it's those oddities that I think make the hunt even more worth it than just seeing the regular stuff. I mean, the regular stuff's cool. I'm always glad to show off any physical media goodness, but it's the oddball stuff. It's the stuff that just makes you kind of like cock your head like a dog, where you're just like, that's unique and interesting. And I'm so glad I got a chance to check that out. And there's something just genuine and really fun about it. And that's why I love checking out some of these indie titles because, man, you know, it's sort of these cool, unique gems that, you know, outside of the regular stuff, the everyday stuff, you just don't get to see all the time, man. And sometimes those are some of the best releases, truly. And I gotta admit, the second Walmart has provided us with some pure gold, and this time around is even better, guys. I swear to God. Oh, it is indeed. We don't have just one title. We don't have 3 titles. We don't have 5 titles. We have way, way more than that, guys. Boy, this is honestly one of the best second Walmart finds I have ever had for the channel, man. Talk about physical media gold, physical media weirdness, second Walmart goodness. And I can't wait to dive into this one. It's time to dive into the Walmart goodness, baby. Yes, indeed it is, man. We have got a lot of Walmart goodness to dive into, man. There is a lot this time around, man. Quite plentiful indeed. Let's dive right in, with the first title being Right Before Your Eyes. And it's so great that not only are we starting out with faith-based,
But we're starting out with Dove approved, baby. Yes. Oh my God. It wouldn't be an out and about with little Dove approved love, man. Oh my God. Not only inspired by true events, but Dove approved as well. Be still my heart. Have faith to begin again. Okay. Who is in this? Wilson, Tony Devon, John Patrick McCurdy, Brian O'Halloran. Wait a minute. Brian O'Halloran. Is that the same Brian O'Halloran that was... Yes! Dude! That's Brian O'Halloran from Clerks! Oh my God, man. Holy shit. He's in this? Shit. A Dove-approved, faith-based movie that's got Brian O'Halloran from Clerks in it. I would have never in a million years thought that was ever possible. The dude that's been in a lot of, like, raunchy, cursing up a storm Kevin Smith films is in a faith-based Dove-approved movie. Oh man, anything is possible now. Literally anything is possible. Oh my God, what is this about, man? Ethan, a recovering alcoholic, shares his story with a peculiar stranger, Ambrose, as he embarks on a reflective train ride home to visit his young autistic son, Lucas. That's not much of a synopsis. I was hoping for like a big synopsis of like, well, it tests his faith and he's gotta learn to heal with God again or something. Like very simple synopsis. I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, he's an alcoholic. I'm assuming he's lost faith in God, that this train ride is sort of bringing him back to God and healing his loss in faith, so to speak. Could the peculiar stranger be an angel? Perhaps God himself? Ooh. I don't know, man. Kind of intriguing to me, man. You know how Dove approved does it, man. I mean, Dove Foundation does say it's a powerful film that promotes the importance of healthy, strong fatherhood and illustrates the strength of God's hand in healing the hopeless. Yes. As long as you can sell more faith-based movies, you'll believe in God all you want. Yes, indeed they will. I do believe in God, truth be told. I believe in heaven and hell and all that jazz. I mean, I'm not ultra religious, but there are some times where I do believe. I really do, man. There is times when, you know, my faith is tested. And I don't know if it goes so far as to like have a stranger on a train ride, you know, tested, but you know, there are moments in my life that I have been tested with that kind of stuff. And so it's kind of interesting to me. I don't know about this, but I mean, truth be told, with the Dove Foundation and these faith-based movies, once you've seen a few of them, you kind of have seen them all. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say it's the bad one. I'm just saying, you know, don't expect it to go outside of the faith-based box. You know what I'm saying? It could be good, inspired by true events, but usually inspired by true events and based on true events are very two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, based on true events is a little bit more realistic than inspired. Inspired is like, well, this sort of story that kind of roundabout equals something that is kind of faith-based, and it was a train ride, and he did have faith. We're just going to take all those elements and spin it into our own tale. Right. If you love faith-based movies and Dove-approved love, another one right before your eyes. On to Looking for Andrew. Very nice. An inspirational journey to find an old friend. I like that, with the floating heads and just kind of chilling out. Thought they were supposed to be looking for somebody. Well, at least one of them is. Good luck with getting onto the car, and I don't know if it's going to help you see any better, but hey, good luck to you, lady. What is this? Let's see. 4 childhood friends return to their hometown after graduating college, only to find that no one has heard from their 5th friend, Andrew, in a long time. They decide to go on a road trip to North Carolina where Andrew's brother lives to see if they can find him. Along the way, their friendship faces many obstacles, and by the time they reach their destination, their lives are forever changed. Wait a minute, what the fuck is he doing with a stuffed animal koala? What the fuck? What the hell? Oh, Jesus, man, okay. That's... You know what this actually reminds me of? Seeing the synopsis, it's very similar to a movie that I have in the collection. And that is this one right here, folks. Went to Coney Island on a mission from God. Be back by 5. With John Cryer, released back in 1998. It's a really great movie about two friends who have lost contact with one of their other really close friends. And it's their journey about finding him and testing their own friendships and their relationship to one another. Very fascinating movie, man, that never really got a lot of love, but such a really powerful movie about friendship. Really, really great film, man. Definitely worth diving into if you ever haven't before. This is something you gotta dive into, guys. Really great flick, man. And Looking for Andrew kind of reminds me of that in a lot of ways. And I like that idea. You know, it's kind of interesting because, you know, for me, I've had a lot of really great friends over the years that I've kind of lost contact with. You know, for one way or another, you kind of lose contact with them. You know, you move on with other friends, or, you know, you lose touch, or you have an argument and you split ways. There's so many things, man. And trying to reconnect with people nowadays is not as easy. I mean, it's much easier with social media than it was back in the day, but it's interesting about friendships and relationships and what they mean to you, and finding out the truth and the things that either, you know, make you come together or make you split apart. Very powerful stuff, man. And I kind of like that idea behind the movie, man. And it's interesting. I like the idea of a friendship being tested and trying to find out what happened to another friend of theirs. It's an interesting, fascinating idea that I like, that idea of it being explored. I know it's nothing new. Other movies have definitely tackled it, like, you know, Went to Coney Island, but it's always nice to see that idea revisited every so often. I really do like that, man. This one looks kind of interesting. It does. Cover looks okay, but the synopsis actually looks really interesting. So I definitely would be down for seeing what this is all about, actually. But I gotta admit, man, I mean, out of all the questions that I have, what the fuck is he doing with the stuffed animal koala? And why is he naked in bed with it? Manipulated. Yes, look at this. Very interesting. Keep your eyes open. Yes, indeed, man. I like that. Sort of the red and the blue. Ooh, who is in this? Michael Pear, Gail O'Grady, John Delancey. Tracy Lords. Oh my God. Wow. God, I hasn't seen Tracy Lords in something in a while. Woo! Blast from the motherfucking past, Tracy. Damn, where you been, girl? Oh, shit. What is this about? Detective Scott Keating has been out of the business for 5 years after getting a serial killer to confess to his crimes. But when given a chance to investigate the murder of the man whose reckless driving caused the deaths of his wife and child, he gets back into the game. The victim, John Davis, had been cheating on 3 separate women, all of whom found out about the affair on the same day. Damn! Man, that's bad luck, bro. Especially for your dead ass. Yo. Scott must use his master interrogating skills to determine which of the 3 deceived lovers stabbed John Davis to death. Oh, very interesting, man. You know, I'm going to take a wild stab at this one, man. One of them has got to be Tracy Lords. And let me tell you, I'm throwing it out there. Dude, Tracy Lords did it. I'm telling you, man. Man, that bitch has guilty written all over her face, man. I'm just telling you, man. I don't know if it's true. I'm just putting out that prediction, man. Boy, she's got guilty written all over those eyes, man. Damn, dude. You know what? I like the idea of a whodunit mystery movie, right? I mean, it kind of reminds me of like Murder on the Orient Express, or even like a comedy heist one, or not a comedy heist movie. What the hell am I talking about? I mean, like a comedy, like who done a killer movie, like Once Upon a Crime or Clue, for instance. I mean, that's another one I was thinking of. But of course, this movie is much more serious than some of those other ones, man. But I kind of like the idea of like all of these suspects and who done it, and they all have a motive. By the way, they were all cheated on by this guy, so they're all, out for revenge, out to get this guy, and so any one of them could have done it. I like the idea of using your interrogation skills to find out what exactly went on and who the perpetrator really is. It almost has like a feel of like a who done it meets like a movie like The Negotiator or some shit, right? I mean it kind of does. It's interesting, it's intriguing, all kinds of manipulation, and I'm telling you, Tracy Lords did that shit. She so did that shit. If I'm wrong, hey, I'll fess up to it, but look at her and tell me she don't scream guilty. She would definitely kill somebody that cheated on her ass. Man, she'd rip their fucking balls off. They may put you away in prison and forget about you, but when you get out, it's time for some payback, bitch. As in payback. He's waited 6 years to settle the score, and now it's time to pay the price, baby. Yes, indeed, man. I kind of like that, dude, with him sort of looking semi-badass with like bullet holes in the back. Guess he's gonna be killing some motherfuckers, ain't he? Well, you can see that in his near future. Mike Markovich, a young stockbroker at a mob-controlled Wall Street firm, is betrayed and imprisoned for 6 years. When he's released, his deadly quest for vengeance begins. I gotta admit, man, isn't it kind of his fault? I mean, you picked the mob-controlled Wall Street firm. Why? I mean, if you were smart, you could have went with Richard Gecko from Wall Street. I mean, he literally says greed is good. He'd totally be on your side. I mean, you could be hanging out with Leonardo DiCaprio from The Wolf of Wall Street, man. I mean, you'd be making a shitload of money and getting a ton of ass. I mean, boy, you really don't know how to pick Wall Street firms, man. You are really shitty in your choices, man. It's kind of your fault that you went to prison for 6 years. I mean, why would you ever trust a mob-controlled Wall Street firm? Haven't you learned anything from Sopranos? You never trust the mob. Man, they'll betray you and kill you in a heartbeat, man. Damn. Boy, you were a dumbass. But regardless of him being a dumbass, though, guys, I mean, did he really need to go to prison? Probably not. But they set him up, and now he's about to kick all kinds of ass. So basically, this is kind of like a John Wick revenge film meets the Occupy Wall Street movement. Like seriously, like the Occupy Wall Street movement is probably looking at this like, yeah, man, if we only went to prison for 6 years and then we got payback, I mean, they definitely would change the rules of Wall Street. I mean, they wouldn't be manipulating us to this day. Right, yeah, dude. I don't care how many motherfuckers get killed. I don't care if accountants fall off of rooftops. I don't give a shit, man. Nothing is going to change in Wall Street. These people rob us fucking blind every single goddamn day of every single goddamn week of every single goddamn month and year. They rob us blind, man. These people are taking our money and literally laughing in our faces, man. I mean, good for this guy to go after the motherfuckers, but I mean, isn't like other people just gonna replace their dead asses? I mean, seriously, man. I mean, you're just replacing more bad guys after you kill the other bad guys. I mean, cool that you killed the bad guys. I mean, less Wall Street people in the world. I mean, I'm not crying or anything, but I mean, jeez, man. Dude. But then again, he is killing the mob, so win-win, I suppose. Had he only made the right choices. I mean, you could have been getting Margot Robbie style ass, but you got in bed with the mob. Guys that are literally called Fat Tony. Margot Robbie ass. Or taking bribe from Fat Tony. Wait a minute. Is that really even a contest? On to more Walmart goodness. Let's keep the train rolling, baby, with the first one in this pile being The Wrong Path. Accept nothing at face value. You got that one right, man. With C. Thomas Howell and Abigail Hawke. I like that. Interesting there. Man, C. Thomas Howell, man, that guy's aged, baby. That guy's aged big time. What is this about? Jack Brenner has been seeing famed psychiatrist Dr. Eric Poslow for rage issues that arose after watching his father get killed by a hit-and-run driver as a child. Ooh. Everyone in the town knows about it, so when Jack gets framed for a robbery and a murder, no one is surprised. With the help of Dr. Poslow's assistant and ex-patient Bonnie, Jack must find out who framed him and why, which leads him down a trail of uncovering corruption and greed running deep throughout the whole city. Okay. Oh man, look at that. That looks kind of cheap. Oh, that looks cheapo. Oh, dude, man. It might be good, to be fair. Like, I kind of have a feeling there's going to be either two things that come from this movie, right? It's either the ex-patient who's manipulating him, or somehow his father comes back from the grave and he never really got killed, and he's been manipulating everything behind the scenes the whole time, like dun dun dun. Like that's kind of what I think is happening at some point. I could be terribly wrong, but man, I've seen this script way too many times before, man. Dude, look at that. It looks so god awful. Oh man, jeez. I mean, interesting cast. I mean, I like C. Thomas Howell, I guess. I mean, true story, guys. One year at one of the horror conventions that I used to go to, he was at one of the conventions, right? And he was charging. I kid you not, he was charging like $60 to $80 for his autograph. And my friends and I were like, wait a minute, C. Thomas Howell is charging that much for his autograph? I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is not the days of Soul Man anymore, okay? Your popularity ain't there, and you're charging more than some of these other people? Dude, come on, man. You must be hard up for money to be charging that type of cash, man. But then again, if he's doing movies like The Wrong Path, well, I guess I can see why he'd be charging $60 to $80. I didn't pay the money for it, but I'm sure a lot of people did. Man, I'd say it helped him with the bills, but he still made The Wrong Path, so, guess it didn't help out that much. Fuck, man, jeez. Man, I'd rather watch Soul Man 2 than The Wrong Path. Maybe this is perhaps leading to Soul Man 2. Okay, so hear me out, guys. So C. Thomas Howell is in this, right? And perhaps he plays the father. There's a hit and run, but he doesn't die. He has to go undercover, and what does he do to go undercover? He gets a skin change and ends up reverting back to the same person that he was during his college years. And then his son ends up finding out, and that he's actually manipulating the city under this sort of crime lord that that, looks kind of like him, but because he's black, no one really suspects anything. Oh my god, dude, I think I just made a better movie than, than this one. Oh my god, man, whatever. This movie looks impossibly terrible, dude. I don't know, man. I've seen the script so many times before. I don't think I'd be interested in this. I mean, wow, corruption in the city, and you have to figure out who is framing you. Wow, mighty original. Not like we've seen that before. But if it was a sequel to Soul Man, I'd be interested. Wouldn't you? Beware of the parish. Yes, indeed, baby. Or be aware of the creepy nun is more like it. Some secrets are worth killing for. Yes, look at that nun, a creepy nun. You are so not virtuous, honey. Crying tears of blood. You are definitely not part of the Duff Foundation. That's for damn sure, man. Oh, look at that pun. None will survive. Seriously? They couldn't come up with anything better? Oh, that's something I'd come up with. Oh, man. Haunted by the death of her husband, Liz moves with her daughter to a small town. The real nightmares begin when they stumble upon a long buried scandal and a bloodthirsty nun who will stop at nothing to protect the deadly secrets of the parish. Ooh, look at that. Nightmares, creepy killer nuns, and some guy who's probably trying to do an exorcism against the nun. Yeah, good luck, buddy. Oh man, God, nunsploitation. Good lord, man, nunsploitation is literally a whole subgenre within horror. I mean, seriously, man, there's so many of those movies, dude. I mean, my God, man. I mean, so many of them are direct to DVD, and some of them are more classic than others. I don't have much nunsploitation. I do have one, actually. I have Santanico Pandemonium, man, which is a really great one, and one of the original originators of the nunsploitation genre. Very interesting stuff with that film, man. But I really don't have much in the way of nunsploitation, but it's a whole thing, man. I mean, literally, I guess it's sort of an obsession about like the idea of nuns are supposed to be virtuous and one with God, and to sort of manipulate that and twist that into being evil and dangerous and seductive and manipulating is really terrifying, and it's really an interesting idea, to be honest with you, and a lot of filmmakers have definitely explored it, and yet another one is doing the same thing, man. It looks interesting. I mean, minus the really bad pun aside, man. But I mean, I like the idea of secrets being buried, a bloodthirsty nun. Why can't she just drink filtered water? I don't know. And maybe even filtered holy water. I mean, if it's filtered through Brita, is it still holy water? Does the Brita filter out the holy part? Ooh. God, that's an interesting question. I'm just diving into random religious shit, man. I mean, look, it probably has its fascinating moments, but I'm not gonna lie, man. It's just another one in a long line of nunsploitation films, and let me tell you, man, you could go down a huge deep dive with that shit. I mean, truly, man, there is a lot of deep dive with nunsploitation. I mean, I would suggest you actually do that. Go down that really long road of nunsploitation, and you'll see some doozies, man. I've went down that road a time or two, and the stuff I found has been wild, man. Much wilder than I'm sure the parish is, but damn, dude. Yeah, yet another in a long line of them. And do you notice something, guys? I'm Jewish, right? There is no horror movies where rabbis are going against other people. Like there's not like evil rabbis that are going around killing people, man. Like why is that? Like how is my religion not like taken advantage of in like the like evil religious factor? Like we don't have an evil rabbi genre. Damn, I so want that. I so want the evil rabbi genre. God, when can I get that, dude? Like shit, we've had too much nunsploitation, man. Where's the evil rabbi shit? Oh my god, man. That would be wild. Dude. Forget the parish, man. Man, let's make a horror movie called The Synagogue. Dude. I'd be up all on that shit. Now what is this, man? Dollface. Ooh, I gotta admit, man, that's a nice cover. I like that, dude. Seriously? That's a great goddamn cover. We all turn in the end. Oh my god. What in the world? Oh, that is such a cool cover, man. That's the kind of cover that, like, instantly you want to buy the goddamn thing, right? Because it's, like, so cool. Like, walking around like a marionette. Oh, I like that cover. Dude, I'm a sucker for that shit. I love that. Marmalade. Oh, that's so great, man. We're off to a great start already. She's named Marmalade. Oh my god, we're off to a killer start. A shy and inexperienced woman will inherit her grandmother's extravagant condo if she can fulfill one condition. She must take care of her grandmother's extensive collection of dolls. At first, Marmalade is overjoyed with her new lifestyle, but one by one, the dolls begin to befall a series of unfortunate fates. A mysterious doll fixer reveals that the dolls were cursed by their jealous maker who had an unhappy childhood. Marmalade must break the curse or surrender her luxurious new apartment before she becomes the next victim. Bitch, get rid of the apartment! Just do it! Who gives a shit? like what? Like I have a feeling like they're gonna turn her into a doll or something. Like they're gonna manipulate her and start to turn her into like an evil doll. Oh no! Oh, poor Marmalade. Oh man, man, the doll genre. God, that's another genre that literally is like huge, man. That's another one, man. I mean, there's so many of them, dude. I mean, of course, you think of like Chucky or Annabelle, of course, but there's so much more than that, man. I mean, I actually own some. I mean, yeah, the Puppet Master franchise is pretty cool. That's one that definitely comes to mind. But, I also own some other ones, man. Let's see here. I own Dolls, which is really great. Dolls is another one that is an awesome, awesome horror flick, man. One of the best in the Killer Doll franchise. So, so cool, man. I love this movie. It definitely reminds me of that. Or even there's that segment in Tales from the Hood when the guy, like the governor or senator there, is in the house and the dolls are trying to kill him and everything. Like so good, man. That stuff is really cool, man. And I gotta admit that Dollface reminds me of that so much, man. Of like these evil cursed dolls that are out to turn you into one of them. Like so creepy and really devious. Oh man, like that's really cool, dude. Oh, I gotta admit, I am mildly intrigued on this one, guys. I mean, truly, with the really great cover and the synopsis, and I'm just kind of a sucker for the killer doll genre. I am. I don't know what it is, dude. Man, like I never played with dolls as a kid, but it's always just like seeing those almost like lifelike eyes, and it always looks like they're like watching you constantly, man. I mean, I remember going into like back in the day, like when I was a kid, like going into KB Toys, and they would have rows and rows of like these dolls. They'd have Barbies and all these other doll stuff, and you just look at them and they just look like they were watching you. and like planning your demise or something was so creepy. Like there's something about it that just really gets to me, man. And this looks so cool. I'm not gonna lie, man. This is one I gotta check out, dude. I might have to do it, man. The killer doll genre, I would say the killer doll genre has kind of been lacking for quite a while. So I am looking for like a really great killer doll movie yet again. I mean, we've had some really good ones in the past. I mean, Dolly Dearest is another one that comes to mind, old school ones, but newer school, yeah, we've got Annabelle, but screw Annabelle, man. I want like a bunch of killer mini dolls going after some chick. And this fulfills my very devious evil side. Wait a minute. More Walmart goodness? Yes, indeed, guys. Whoo, be still my weird second Walmart indie weirdness fetish. Let's dive into more physical media goodness, shall we? With the sneak over. Get ready for one wild night. Wait a second. Come on. Another Stranger Things ripoff? Seriously? My God, man, how many does it make now? We have seen so many Stranger Things ripoffs, dude. Seriously. God, this has to be like 5,765,000 now. Like, good Lord, man. Always trying to copy Stranger Things, man. Always trying to copy it. Never can replicate it. That is for damn sure, man. Why not? Okay. I like the cover though, regardless of it being kind of like a obviously copycat version of Stranger Things. I like it. What can I tell you, man? I mean, I'm a sucker for that shit. What is this about, man? Henry Hudson, a socially awkward kid, hasn't made friends since moving to a new school district. His only chance at fitting in is his father's ownership of a rare unreleased movie called The Blue Shadow that a group of boys who started the Ming Valley Film Club want to watch. When Henry forgets the VHS in his bedroom on the night of the sleepover, the boys must concoct a plan to sneak out of his house and make it to Henry's to retrieve the VHS, but a well-known group of bullies patrol the streets in between. Henry must lead a battle against the neighborhood bullies to become one of the guys. Wait a minute. Hold on a second here. I looked at this cover, right? And the synopsis that I see in the back is not even remotely close to what I think the cover is, man. Holy shit. Like, the cover had me thinking it was some sort of, like, you know, Friends, some sort of weird paranormal, you know, alien monster stuff. Like, it's about a film club and a lost VHS film. Wait, what? The two totally do not mix together, man. I am serious. Totally do not, man. Holy shit. Wow. Oh my God, man. So it's kind of like this weird, like, almost like PG-13 adventure film that you'd see from like the 80s mixed with like almost like a teen comedy mixed in? Huh? What? I totally was not getting those vibes, man. Holy shit. Almost like reminds me of that movie not too long ago. Good Boys. It definitely reminds me of Good Boys in a big bad way. I mean, mind you, Good Boys is probably way raunchier than this movie is ever going to attempt to be, but I just kind of like the idea of friends coming together, having an adventure. It just has that mix of like a PG, you know, family friendly, mischievous adventure meets a kind of PG-13 teen sex comedy in some weird way, man. And just sort of the two coming together, man. God, I remember stuff back in the day, dude. I mean, movies like Kenny and Company or Kidco. Do you remember that movie Kidco, dude? Oh man, go back and watch that movie, man. That is such a blast from the goddamn past, dude. That is so good, man. God, those are old school ones that I love. This kind of has me in the nostalgia feels. I'm not gonna lie, it really does. I mean, yeah, it kind of manipulates you with the cover because if you're seeing this in a store and you see this, you're kind of thinking, "Oh, wait a minute, it's kind of like Stranger Things," and then you get it home and you watch it and you're like, what? And then like they've already been like, "Hey, we got your money, bitch." Like they already do, man. But honestly, I just like the idea of a film club, VHS. I mean, it just has a lot of those feels. I mean, it even has a little bit, even though it's not even remotely close to it, kind of has a feel of a little bit of like even the Monster Squad in some way. I gotta admit, man, it looks interesting to me. It really does. Yes, it kind of manipulates you in a way, but I guess a lot of movies do that nowadays, right? They kind of manipulate you with the cover to kind of watch the movie, kind of get you in the door. Sometimes you're pleasantly surprised, and other times, whoo, you want to punch a wall big time, baby. I think this movie would kind of surprise people. I really do, man. It just has some really great nostalgic feels to it, and I'm not gonna lie. How many kids are really doing film clubs these days? Or even watching VHS tapes? I mean, by the way, if anybody out there in America, if any kids out there are doing film clubs and watching VHS tapes, can I join your club? Right here, guys. Me. So I've heard of killing it at karaoke, but this takes it to a whole nother level. With killer karaoke, sing for your life. Oh no. Oh no. The spirit of a deceased girl dwells in a karaoke booth waiting for her next victim to step up to the mic. One night, if someone accidentally switches on the machine, her spirit is awakened and ready to kill the next person who sings out of tune. Damn. Samara, move over, because you've got competition, baby. Oh no. They gotta ruin everything, even karaoke. Oh, fuck it, man. Jesus, look at this. Oh my God. Oh man. Oh Lord. I'm kind of curious though. I'm reading that synopsis, right? If you know that this karaoke machine literally kills people, or has the potential to, and there's been massive deaths, why not just get rid of it? Why not smash it up into a million pieces with a baseball bat or some sort of crowbar or whatever you want to do, and then literally just get rid of it? Unless it actually comes back to life, like literally reassembles itself like Christine or some shit, and like comes back and like you can't destroy it or something until you solve the mystery of the little girl that's possessed by the karaoke machine. Like, right, like Samara was drowned in the well, and you gotta get to the well in order to like free her soul or some shit. Like literally, like this girl one day did karaoke and she ended up getting killed by a karaoke machine. Like a karaoke machine literally like accidentally fell on her head and she got into the karaoke machine and nobody decided to get her out of it. They just threw it away. And the mystery of the girl in the missing karaoke machine. And now every time you play the karaoke machine, you get a call that says you have 7 days until you have to play Bop for the 10th time. Oh, that would be really bad, wouldn't it? Oh my God, Bop. I don't even know why I said Bop, man. I mean, it could be Mambo number 5 or singing the fucking Macarena, man. Whatever, dude. I mean, God, the torture that this woman will put you through. I mean, literally, over the course of the days, like flies are coming out of your eyeballs and you're seeing dead people, and suddenly this little girl with a microphone is like whispering in your ear, like, Bob, Bob, give it all, Bob. Like, what the hell? You're like, God, and like the last image you see before you die is sort of the Hanson brothers singing Bop, and like you're trapped in the music video and you're like, no, 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 and suddenly you like die and you kind of look like all horrified, like you're like, oh my God, man, what the hell is this, dude? Seriously, man, God. Man, I've seen some weird movies in my day, man. I've seen some doozies, dude. My God, man. And Japanese cinema, man, they got some weird stuff for Japanese cinema, man. I mean, this is kind of a take on The Grudge or The Ring, uh, yeah, The Eye, a bunch of those type of sort of horrifying tales come to life. And that's kind of what this is, but like to the nth degree, man, to the most ridiculous nth degree you've ever seen. I mean, what the hell, dude? There's literally a weird, creepy dead chick in a toilet filled up with blood. What? The kind of imagery. I mean, it could be cool, all things considered. I mean, I don't know. I walk into a movie called Killer Karaoke and I'm ready for the most cheesy shit of all time, and it could be kind of scary. I highly doubt that, but it could be scary though, regardless, man. I mean, goddamn, dude. They gotta ruin karaoke. Damn, man. I mean, I gotta tell you, dude. I mean, there are some weird shit that I've seen, dude. I mean, if you would have told me that I would have seen a movie called Killer Karaoke in my out and about travels, I'd have told you you're a fucking liar, man. But here we are, dealing with Killer Carrie motherfucking Okie. Oh, Lord. Oh, God, man. I've seen some doozies in my day. I mean, I gotta admit, this is a mild curiosity at best. And I truly mean that, dude. Because don't you at least want to experience a movie called Killer Karaoke at least once? Like, you get to say in your life, I've seen a movie called Killer Karaoke. It's just one of those sort of like rights as a cheesy movie lover to see Killer Karaoke, to experience the horrors of the girl trapped in the karaoke machine. And if you're out of tune, she'll bring you into karaoke hell. Oh, Lord, bitch, leave my ass out of it, man. Damn, dude. A ruined karaoke for me. Man, fuck you, man. It is probably a rite of passage to at least watch it once, man. Japanese cinema has some weird stuff, man. Why not Killer Karaoke? I just want them to stay away from other things. Like, stay away from iPods. Don't make a killer iPod movie. I still have my iPod. You've ruined everything for me. Even karaoke. Man, leave my iPod alone. Can't I have something that isn't haunted? And keep the Hanson brothers away. I'm scarred for life already. And if you want to save your soul, save it through confession. Or else. With The Reckoning. Yes, indeed. From the director of The Descent and Game of Thrones, fear spreads like the plague. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime. Now, I watched it because of Neil Marshall. I'm a big, big fan of Neil Marshall's work, man. I mean, Dog Soldiers and The Descent, Doomsday, and many others. He's a really fantastic filmmaker, dude. And I wanted to see what he was doing next. And this is an interesting movie. Basically, it takes place in around 1665 during
one of the plagues that was going on, the Great Plague. And basically this woman, her husband ends up actually dying from this plague. And because he doesn't want to give it to his wife or his baby daughter, he decides to hang himself. And basically this one guy who rents out this house, this cottage to them, finds him hanged and realizes, hold on a second, you did this. You did this because he wants to get with her and sleep with her and be with her, and she won't do it. So he then accuses her of being a witch in order to get retaliation against her. And basically, it's just all the complications of her having to go through all of these trials and these sort of religious tests that basically make her want to confess that she's a witch, so that the town can feel at ease that they've captured and killed a witch just for the sake of doing it. And all of the torture and sort of the terrible things in the name of God that happen just because you accuse something or someone of something that you have no evidence of. But it doesn't matter because, people will believe what they want to believe. And unfortunately, the stuff that happens to her or happened to any of them during this time period was just gruesome and horrible, man. I got to admit, there's a lot of very interesting things with this movie. Now, there's always been a fascination with the witch trials. A lot of people go to Salem every single year and always celebrate, obviously, the Salem witch trials and what happened to those women and a lot of other things like that. Why? Why the fascination of it all, if you really think about it? I mean, with such a terrible tragedy and everything that happened, you know, why the fascination of it, truly? And I think the reason being is because of just the idea that this really happened. The idea that we were so easily conned into believing that these innocent women were witches just because of something they said or did that we didn't agree with or we didn't like. It's so interesting of the horrible atrocities that we've done in the name of God. And it's so incredibly fascinating and so disturbing. It's supposed to be salvation, but it's actually damnation. It's damnation for the women who got tortured and unfairly killed. It's damnation for the people who did the torturing and who did the killing that justified this. And it's so horrific, and what this woman goes through is terrible, and she endures it. And she endures it because she knows she's not a witch, and she's not going to give them what they want, even though they are going to do everything in their power to try to get her to confess. She's just not wanting to do it and not wanting to give them the satisfaction. And I really appreciate it. I mean, there is some really great, interesting, nightmarish imagery of her, almost dreaming that her husband is still alive, that the devil is around her and trying to have sex with her and manipulate her. I mean, there's some really interesting imagery here. I love the acting. I will admit, the movie is a slow burn. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to really consider this movie boring because it's not like uber exciting. Like, it's not like supernatural horror, and it's not one of those movies that, at the end of the day, like, it's like fire and brimstone and her magical powers defeat everybody. Like, that's not this movie. And I think people were maybe walking into this movie thinking there was going to be some sort of sci-fi magical horror twist, and not really. They kind of perhaps maybe set up for one at points, but they don't really ever go for it. I do like the fact that the bad guys do eventually get their comeuppance, and you deal with the idea of this this woman who is fighting for her life and fighting for her child's life simply because her husband didn't want to pass the plague on to them. It's very fascinating of a movie, man, and it's just fascinating to me of just how different things they used to do back in the day to try to get you to confess, whether it was literally stabbing you in the foot or literally taking this device that they stuck inside the women and opened up almost like a flower that it would literally ruin your insides. I mean, they would do everything in their power to torture these women and then, you know, and then kill them and unceremoniously do it. I mean, it's the same with the Salem witch trials. I mean, they literally was, well, if you're a witch, then you'll rise up from the lake and everything. And then when they didn't rise up from the lake, they're like, oh, well, I guess she wasn't a witch. Well, no shit. You know, I mean, there were so many women that were killed this way. There were so many things. And, you know, I gotta tell you, as much as I appreciate certain faith-based movies and religious films, and I understand the popularity of it, there's a whole dark side to religion, and there's a whole twisted sensibility to it that, you know, really needs to be explored even more. And I think The Reckoning really goes down a very dark path. It's not for everybody. It's not the most thrilling movie that you've ever watched, especially from Neil Marshall. It doesn't have this sort of sci-fi twist, horror twist that, I think would have made it even more exciting for viewers. It's a very religious horror flick, and I appreciated it for that reason, especially when it came down to the idea of this woman getting tortured and the idea that this stuff really happened. It really went down like this. And the accusations and the torture and these religious zealots who thought they were doing God's work, but in fact were basically spreading damnation all over the place. It's very fascinating stuff, man. And I really appreciated it. Like I said, this movie's not for everybody, but I still thought it was a worthy film, at least for me. And being a fan of Neil Marshall, he's done other movies that are usually in this time period. I mean, he's done movies like Centurion, he's done episodes of Game of Thrones. So, I mean, he knows this time period. I still think it's exciting. There's moments where you're on the edge of your seat. There's moments where you literally are just so sickened by the torture. This movie doesn't pull any punches, and I really appreciate it, man. I don't think this is going to be high on many people's list as far as Neil Marshall's filmography goes. It's not technically even going to be high on my list. I mean, movies like Dog Soldiers and The Descent and Doomsday and a lot of other ones are so much better, but I appreciated him going down this road, and I think it's a really fascinating movie. If you like religious horror, stuff from back in the day, this one is an interesting film to explore. Don't think it's the most exciting film ever. It's got its long stretches and boring moments, but if you're willing to go with it, it is very haunting, man. It's beautiful, but yet very, very haunting and very effective, man. And I think it's definitely well worth diving into, especially if you're a fan of Neil Marshall, man. And he's done some great work, and this is solid. I mean, I'm just saying, I think it's well worth your time, dude. Really, very fascinating and interesting stuff indeed, man. And actually, very interesting for the second Walmart, man. I mean, a lot of titles to explore. And let me tell you something, man. As far as physical media goodness is concerned, the second Walmart definitely delivered. Taking a train ride while reflecting on God, finding your good old friends, payback against the Wall Street mob, killer nuns, creepy dolls, VHS fan clubs,
killer karaoke, and declaring yourself a witch, even if it means good old-fashioned, old-school torture. Oh, baby, what a wild, wild, wild stack this one was, man. Wow, 10 titles, baby, 10 titles. Woo! Man, did the second Walmart deliver, baby. Damn, man. And like I said, I love checking out the second Walmart. I just really do, man. And the reason being is because you don't see these titles all the time, dude. I mean, God, I only wish that you could see them everywhere, but that's what makes them so unique, man, is literally finding these titles and giving them a chance and just looking at them, and that's why I show this stuff off to you guys, to be honest with you. I mean, I've always said that there's a lot of these titles that I may not have any interest in. I may not like any of this stuff. Sometimes I think it's really looks really crappy. Sometimes I think it looks great. But I show it all off because I think you guys deserve to be shown every single title that possibly can be shown, man. Why? Because I think any movie that's on physical media deserves some kind of love and some kind of recognition, because physical media is so important. And physical media really is the lifeblood for so many movie fans out there. And there are so many releases out there that would not have gotten any love otherwise if not for physical media. There's so many movies in the collection that I would never have given a chance to if I wasn't given it, to watch from a friend, or if I didn't find it at a store and it looked kind of cool. I gave so many movies a chance, and it surprised me because of a physical copy. And even if I may not like something, I still believe it's worth showing off because it might be worth it for you. So physical media means that much to me, that regardless what I think, it's still worth showing off, man. And so, maybe one of these films will surprise you. Maybe you'll pick it up and say, this was really, really cool. That's why physical media is so important, because it gives you an opportunity to find a movie that you might not otherwise find. And sometimes that can only be through physical. Sometimes you just won't be able to find it through streaming, and the only way is through a physical copy. And that's why physical is so important, because it gives movies a fighting chance where maybe otherwise they might not be able to. And showing off these movies might give you guys a chance to find something cool you wouldn't have otherwise. So that's why I think it's super important, guys, and that's why I think any physical media is always good physical media worth showing off, dude. So hope you appreciated all the Walmart weirdness, the bizarreness, all the goodness, all the craziness. It was definitely a wild stag, that's for damn sure. However, the physical media journey is not over, because we got one more stop to go. So let's head into the fourth location and see what more physical media goodness we can find.
All right, everybody, we are at our fourth and final location, and isn't it always nice to cap off a week of physical media while going to the Beast? Usually it is. Let's see about this time, when we are at Best Buy, the Beast. Best Buy, baby. This has been a rather unique and interesting week for physical media. Certain things that I didn't think we would actually see, we did. And some stuff, wish I'd rather not. But I don't know what the Beast is going to have in store, especially the way the Beast has been lately with not as much plentiful media. Not sure what we're going to see. Maybe an exclusive, maybe a lot of new releases, maybe nothing at all. It's starting to become a gamble going into Best Buy. This week could be one or the other. Only way to find out is head inside, so let's go in. Let's try our luck at the Beast. All right, we are in at Best Buy, and we'll have the same similar stuff over in this section. However, we do have, oh boy, Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, the Blu-ray DVD digital for $17.99. That
is way too fucking high. Especially for this goddamn movie. Holy shit, man. Oh, man. And I kind of want to continue down this deep dive of Kristen Wiig, right? Because I'm just going to continue to be real with you. I just never understood her brand of comedy. And it never really... I know some people find it funny, I guess, right? I just thought that she's always sort of ridiculous for ridiculous sake, and that's all she ever really is. There are moments where I've liked her as an actress, like I've liked her in Adventureland. I thought she was great in Adventureland. Why? Because her comedy was toned down. She wasn't the crazy, wild, ridiculous, over-the-top chick. She was a little bit more milder with her comedy. It works. And I even really liked her in Paul. I thought she was really good in Paul and in The Martian. And there's a lot of those stuff that I really do appreciate. But those are roles that are really toned down for her. You know what I mean? I don't like the wild, bombastic stuff or the overly goofy or ridiculous, like the Anchorman stuff or even this movie. There's something about comedy to me. Well, comedy is very subjective in general, yes, but for me, comedy has to be subtle. And yes, it can be ridiculous at times depending on the context of the movie and the actors who are performing it and how they go about it. You know, some people from SNL I thought worked better than others. I look at somebody like a Gilda Radner. Was amazing. Gilda was awesome. I think of a movie like Haunted Honeymoon. Fantastic. Great flick. And there's so many other actresses out there who were on SNL that did a really good job. But I kind of feel like Kristen Wiig almost is like has the concept of like more is more. And I've never really appreciated that with her. I felt like she's too goofy for her own good in certain roles. Even in a movie like Wonder Woman 84, it felt like she was really miscast in that movie. It just felt like she didn't fit in there. And I just feel like a lot of times she's overdoing it. Is that just me? I mean, it really does. And with this movie, it just felt like the same stuff. I mean, she's just going way over the top with her comedy, just way too goofy and just completely in your face. And I never really ever appreciated that. I mean, I don't think I ever really did, man. I want to like her more. And like I said, when I really do, like again, Paul or Adventureland, The Martian, a few other things, again, I think the reason why I like it is because she's not like crazy over the top. She's a little more subdued. And I think with comedy, it's all about how you approach it. Certain people are really great with comedy and they're comedic geniuses without even trying. And then there's other people that feel like they're just overdoing it for the sake of overdoing it. And maybe that might work one or two times, but after that it starts to get tiring. I remember a movie like Bridesmaids where I'm like, this is really ridiculous and over the top, but people liked it. And I think they liked it because of the situational comedy. But then you do something like that in a Ghostbusters movie, and then it's way too over the top. You know what I'm saying? I think it depends on the movie, it depends on the situation. I don't think it works all the time. And I think Kristen Wiig tries the same stuff over and over again, but she strikes out more than she actually does home runs. Just my opinion, though, man. However, that being said, look at the special features here, man. I mean, audio commentaries, making of, bloopers, deleted scenes. Jeez, they even have a fucking fashion show. What the fuck? Oh my god, this movie, man. God damn it, dude. This movie is just all kinds of weird, bizarre comedy that just is so random and doesn't make any fucking sense, man. I wish I could say that this is kind of like goofy, memorable, because sometimes there is. Like the Austin Powers stuff is goofy but memorable. I remember something like Top Secret, or The Man Who Knew Too Little, or even some of the SNL stuff that's been into movies. Like, the ladies man, or like the night at the Roxbury. I mean, goofy stuff, but somehow it works. Here it's literally like just shoving everything up their fucking asshole and trying to shit out gold. And they shit out something, but it sure as hell ain't gold. Like, oh my god, man. Man, go into this movie with really low expectations, and you might actually enjoy it. Actually, what am I talking about? I went in with low expectations, and I still hated the goddamn thing. Oh, fuck. Jesus, man. You know what? This is one of those movies that's better left for a Dollar Tree sale. Put it that way. Maybe then, if it's $1, it might be worth it. But then, as they say in used cars, that's just too fucking high. And then on the other side of the new releases, I am seeing they have that Steelbook for Earwig and the Witch for $24.99, but they also have the regular Blu-ray DVD for $19.99. And I gotta admit, this is a really cool cover. Look at that, man. That is cool. Whoa. I love that, man. With like the rockin' chicks and like she's like like rocking out and everything. Like totally different than this Steelbook, man. Wow. Like this completely changes the way I even am thinking about the movie. I actually like this regular cover way more than the Steelbook, man. I mean, Earwig and the Witch, it definitely reminds me of like Hedwig and the Angry Itch, stuff like that, but and even more imagery on the back. See, the imagery looks so cool. The animation looks really great here, man. And I'm kind of now interested even more in this movie because of it kind of looks like some cool sort of like rock and roll witchcraft movie or something. It looks really wild, man. It looks really fascinating to me. And the animation looks cool. Dude, like it looked interesting with the steel, but with the regular Blu-ray it looks even better, man. Wow, that's so cool. Dude, that is awesome. That looks really, really kick-ass. I'm not gonna lie, man. Wow. I'm not much into these anime stuff, but with that cover, that really piques my interest. Feature-length storyboards, creating Earwig and the Witch, interviews with the Japanese voice cast, trailers and teasers. Very interesting. I gotta admit, this is a cool imagery, and with all that stuff, it looks really fantastic, man. Wow, that looks cool. With the colors and everything. Oh, this has got to be cool. This definitely piques my interest even more now, man. Wow. Dude, that looks awesome. Just that cover alone. Because I gotta tell you, man, sometimes covers can really do it. Sometimes covers can really sell a movie. And this one is doing it in a big bad way, I'm telling you, dude. It looks fascinating to me. It looks really, really fascinating, dude. Wow. That looks really awesome, dude. I mean, the steel was cool, don't get me wrong, but that imagery makes the movie even cooler. Dude, that is awesome, man. No doubt, dude. Well, a couple of interesting releases. Well, I mean, Barb and Star, and then you have this, which is much more interesting. Okay, man, some interesting stuff so far. Let's see what other releases Best Buy has in store. And on the backside here, actually a little bit better than we've normally been seeing over here. Not half bad, to be honest with you. Not great, but definitely an improvement. And the first thing I'm seeing over on this side is we have the Blu-ray of Shadow in the Cloud for $17.99. That's actually a wild difference because over at Target it was $29.99 and this is $17.99. That's a crazy difference, man. You might as well just get it here at Best Buy. That's kind of wild, man. Yeah, what a crazy wild difference of a price, man. But I gotta give Chloe Grace Moretz a lot of props for this movie, as I think, she's finally grown up in a lot of ways. With this movie and many others, because I remember when, she was, God, I hate to say that because I'm dating myself big time. I remember when she was, a small kid and, starting out. I think she was in the Amityville Horror remake, and a few other things. But what really got her, what really was the big thing that broke her out, of course, was Kick-Ass, man. And that was the one that really gave her the notice. People really noticed her in a big bad way. She was the foul-mouthed, kick-ass little girl. and I think people really praised her for that. And, you know, she did a lot of things from that point. She did the Let Me In remake, which I thought was awesome. I know the people kind of differ on that one. I tend to really like that. Of course, she did Hugo and a few other things. Of course, Kick-Ass too, but that didn't really do her any favors, to be honest with you. And then she did a lot of other more grown-up stuff. I mean, she's done Carrie, which I thought she did pretty damn good in Carrie, all things considered. Not as good as the original, but still a solid remake for the most part. She did a great job in that. If I Stay, The Miseducation of Cameron Post, and a few others. I mean, she still does goofy stuff from time to time. I mean, the Tom and Jerry movie, okay, it's not exactly the best choice in the world, but, you know, now she is a full-on mature actress now, and it's interesting to see where she'll go in her career at this point, because a lot of child actors that grow up in the limelight, not as many of them succeed as they get older. More of them fail than anything else. I mean, you look at someone like Haley Joel Osment or Jonathan Lipnicki or, of course, the most famous of them, of course, you got to say Jake Lloyd. Boy, man, that talk about a guy that's had a lot of problems, man. Man, look that up. Man, the dude is literally almost went to an insane asylum, I think. I mean, my God. There's a lot of them that have went the way of the dinosaur. And I don't want Chloe Grace Moretz to do that, because I think she's a better actress than that, and I think she's somebody that really has a lot of great promise in her career. I think it all depends on where she goes next. I mean, I think she's made a lot of really great choices as a child actress. I think she's made a lot of really bold, interesting choices, a lot of things that really put her in the spotlight in a really great way. And I think now, getting to a certain age, it's now on you to make those choices. And it's very interesting to see where she goes next. I think Shadow in the Cloud is a really great opportunity for her to break out and do something more mature, and I think she's pulled that off. I'd like to see where she goes next, man. She's a really great actress, has a lot of great promise, but statistics prove that there's more failure than there is successes when you're a child star growing up and becoming a more mature actor. The pitfalls. Will she defy them, or will she become another statistic? I'd like to think she's going to defy them, but that's just me, though, guys. Definitely let me know what you think of Chloe Grace Moretz. But this movie, again, it takes great, interesting fantasy horror elements and mixes them to a great World War II action tale that I think is really well done. And honestly, yeah, a little bit of disbelief here and there, but for the most part, though, if you can forego a little bit of that, it really pulls off in a pretty nice way. It's a satisfying movie with a satisfying heroine. Yeah, it's a little too on the nose at times with, like, the tough chick and the sort of, basically, you know, the sort of limp dick guys. Yeah, it kind of does. But I can forgive that because I thought the story was good, I thought the acting was good, and Chloe Grace Moretz kicked all kinds of ass. So I can forgive some of the pitfalls. That's just me, man. No special features on this, which really sucks, man. I would have loved a commentary or a making of, but I mean, I think it's incredibly entertaining. It's satisfying. As somebody who loves World War II movies, it satisfied that itch and sort of the fantasy horror element that really felt like something out of Twilight Zone. Very, very unique and interesting. Honestly, very much worth watching. I was extremely entertained, and I think you guys will be too. And then I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray of Son of the South for $17.99. Lucas Till, Julia Roman, Brian Dennehy, Cedric the Entertainer. I wonder what this is about. From producer of Malcolm X. In this poignant true story in Montgomery, Alabama, a Klansman's grandson must choose which side of history to be on during the Civil Rights Movement. Defying his family and white Southern norms, he fought against social injustice, repression, and violence in the world. Huh. Okay. Interesting. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Just looking at it, it kind of reminds me of that movie, The Best of Enemies, with Sam Rockwell. That came out like a year or two back. Really, really great movie about sort of the Klan and repressing the African Americans and obviously their rights. And this kind of reminds me of that. I mean, it's also based on a true story. I don't know if it's as entertaining as the Best of Enemies was, because that movie, yes, it was a very serious film, but it also had some lighthearted moments, and it really sort of lets you enjoy the journey and also give you a really great, powerful message at the same time. I think this movie is just very much just a hard-hitting film. It looks interesting, and I like the idea of telling these true stories and the struggles, because they kind of need to be told, right? I mean, yes, they're told in history classes and they're in history books, but there's something about a movie, and I've always said this, there's something about a movie that really brings it home to people, that it really gets you even more. And it's kind of weird to say that, but it's true. Whether it's talking about like Schindler's List, or even a movie like Malcolm X, or a lot of other movies out there, that somehow a movie ends up getting to more people and it affects a larger amount of the population. And I think these tales really do need to be told in movie form. It's kind of very interesting, this one. And the cast is not bad either. I mean, I like Lucas Till. I really liked him in X-Men First Class. I thought he was awesome. I mean, he also did Monster Trucks, which, let's be honest, nobody's perfect. That movie's shit. But I heard he has been really good in MacGyver, and that MacGyver show isn't half bad. Mind you, I've never seen it, but I have heard decent things about it. I think he definitely needs more opportunities as an actor. This looks like it could be a really good dramatic tale. A lot of really good acting here. Really just great dramatic scenes. It has the potential to be really good, especially if it's done right. There's some of these movies that kind of sugarcoat the whole like KKK South stuff and the struggles of African Americans. There's some that kind of do that. They say they're hard hitting and they come across as kind of weak sauce. I don't know whether this one will be that or whether it'll be something a little bit more dramatic and poignant and have a great message to it. It could go either way. But with a good cast, an interesting true story, I think this one has potential. Possibly. Possibly. Be interesting to find out. Not half bad, man. And not half bad this week overall here. I mean, not crazy plentiful at Best Buy, but not bad either. Hey, with this Best Buy, I'll take it, guys. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's head out. It's not half bad here at the Beast this week. Truth be told, I mean, it's not, as I said, crazy plentiful, but actually they have a pretty decent selection, all things considered, especially when you think of the past few weeks and what I've shown off here. Here's the reason why. So, as you've seen before, they have kept all of this area here. Okay? They kept all of this area. They've kept this area over here. Okay? What they've done, actually, is they've now gotten rid of all of this. So, if I've shown you guys before in previous videos, this here was physical media. Over there was physical media. Now that is all gone. They're restocking this little area here that's going to have the movies. And they're going to have this movie display, and they're going to have the new release display up front. Honestly, I'm kind of okay with this, guys. I'm not going to lie. I actually thought it was going to be much worse. Like, everybody that has talked to me in the comment section, and I've seen over in that other Best Buy that I showed you guys, like, a couple weeks back, like, that was really bad. Like seriously terrible. Like, barely any physical media. This, honestly, is pretty decent, all things considered. I mean, the two movie sections here, basically all of this stuff here,
And then they have the movie section over here as well. I actually thought it was going to be much worse, guys. Truth be told, I was prepared for there to be a tiny little section of physical media, and that was it. This, I mean, if Best Buy had to pare down the physical media here, I'm kind of okay with what they did. I mean, this way they don't have so much space that they can't fill up all the physical media. They have a pared down space where they can really focus on certain titles and get in more of an abundance and fill the shelves a little bit more. I'm actually kind of okay with this, guys. I mean, truth be told, it could have been far worse. So this is not half bad, guys. Truth be told, it's actually pretty good. I don't know if it's going to get pared down even more, but for the time being, I will take it. I truly, truly will. As a physical media lover, as somebody who thought that this was going to be like the dire situation of like barely any physical media, this is the best of both worlds, and I'm going to take it for the time being, guys. I'm a happy man. I thought it was going to be the worst circumstance, and it ended up being not half bad. I mean, so in the future, looks like physical media is going to be saved at this Best Buy, at least for the time being. But we'll see where this goes from them. But hey, better than what I was anticipating. Put it that way, guys. So I'm a happy camper. And with some of the new releases and physical media love, hey, this Best Buy didn't do half bad this week, all things considered. And most of the stores didn't do half bad either. And I thought this physical media week was going to be a real bummer. Turned out to be actually a really pleasant surprise. Who knew? All right. You never know until you do the out and abouts. Proof yet again. All right. Let's head home and finish the video. All right, everybody. That'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week. And man, this turned out to be actually quite the interesting week for physical media. And I actually thought it was probably going to be a little bit of a bummer. I mean, I was a day late. Okay, I had gotten the second vaccine shot, and man, that literally put me down for a solid day and a half, man. I got up on Tuesday morning, and I thought I was fine, and as I was approaching getting ready to leave, like I was gonna shave and take a shower and everything, I just got so weak that I literally, when I took a shower, I could barely stand in the shower. And literally when I was drying myself off, I was so weak that I had to, I literally dropped on the floor while I was wet and just literally laid there for 10 minutes before I ever got back up to try to dry myself off. My heart was racing. I was dizzy, my head was in a fog, I could barely stand, I had to go into the bed, and I was literally bedridden for practically like 24 hours, man. So, doing the video on Wednesday, first of all, it was really great to get out, but I was like, I don't know, man, maybe I'm not going to see a lot this time around, doing it a day late, and at first, I thought so. I mean, going to that first Walmart is always a gamble. And seeing a few of the titles that came out this week at Target was pretty good. But I was like, not sure what else we're going to see, man. And surprise, 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 baby. Man, the second Walmart came through, showing a little bit more off at Best Buy. And, you know, it really is true, man. You know, doing these out and abouts, I've always said that literally doing them, right? Like, it's the fact of you don't know what you're walking yourself into. You really don't. You could have a really great physical media week where you know there's a bunch of titles coming out, and then you could have a really crappy physical media week that turns out to somehow be gold at the stores. How bizarre, man. You don't really know until you actually head into these places and check it out for yourself. And it really is true. And this week proves that theory, bar none. And man, was it exciting checking out some of these titles, man. Really, really cool stuff this week, man. It seems like a slow week, but you never really know until you go into the stores and look for it yourself, man. You can dive into some really interesting media, let me tell you, man. I think my videos have pretty much proven that, man. So I hope you guys picked up something good or interested in checking some stuff out. If you are, definitely let me know. As far as I am concerned, I didn't really get any major packages in the mail for like upcoming Blu-ray pickup videos for April that I'm gonna put in a pile. But I did get some interesting stuff regardless, man. So, first off, for the week, as far as new releases are concerned, I picked up Shadow in the Cloud. Yes, indeed I did, man. I picked it up at Best Buy for $17.99. I was actually really shocked because when I saw the Blu-ray at Target for $29.99, I was kind of baffled at first. But I didn't really think about it until I went to Best Buy and I'm like, wait a minute. Oh my god, man. Like, that price is insane. Dude, you just get it at Best Buy, man. And I got it, and the slip is in really great condition. Dude, I really like this movie, man. I thought the World War II action style stuff was really cool. Chloe Grace Moretz is awesome in this film. I like the sort of Twilight Zone, amazing stories esque idea. I think it works really well, man. It's really cool. And for $17.99 plus, I had a $5 off gift certificate. And with that, I paid $14 and change for the movie. And that's including tax. So I'm like, you know what, for $14 and change for a brand new Blu-ray title, dude, I'm taking it. So adding a new one to the collection, guys, not half bad. And then I did something I don't normally do. So last week I showed you guys that I got the 4K edition of Soul. And I would have just left it at that. But I thought to myself, I said, God, you know, I was looking at that steelbook. And I said, that steelbook looks really fascinating and really interesting. I wonder if I can still get it. And I looked on Best Buy's website just on the off chance of maybe I could get it. And they did have some in stock that they could send out to me. And so what I did is I actually brought back the 4K edition, the regular 4K, and got the Steelbook edition of Soul, baby. And I got this, man, because I actually really like this. Look at this, dude. That's really cool. With him on the keys and the city in the background and then the cat on the keyboards in the back. So cool, man. So cool, dude. I really like that. I think this is a really cool steelbook, man. I was checking it out on the on BestBuy.com. I was thinking, I never saw it in theater. I never saw it in the stores. And I said to myself, I said, man, I really want to kind of see if I can get this. And I did. And man, it's so cool, dude. So cool. Majorly cool, man. Really great. I'm so glad I got this. This is a really cool steelbook edition. I don't buy a lot of steelbooks, to be fair, but there was something about this one that I really liked the design of, and I thought it was actually better than the actual regular 4K edition, so I traded in the regular one for the steelbook. Don't normally do that, but I don't know. This steelbook just kind of really spoke to me. I think, and that's kind of why I wanted to pick it up, man. I don't know. It was just really interesting. I really liked it, man. So why not? So pick this bad boy up. Then I also I ordered through Orbit DVD. And I'm starting to order a little bit more there. And I couldn't find this in the stores. And I knew I kind of wanted it for the collection. And that is the VHS slipcover edition of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Oh my god, yes, I got it. I got Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, man. I mean, do you guys realize, okay, I don't own any of the Rocky movies on physical media.
I don't own any of the Expendables movies. I don't even own any of the Rambo movies on physical media. But now I own Stopper My Mom Will Shoot. Why did I want to pick this thing up, man? Because it's such an oddity in the Stallone catalog, man. It's not many people really ever talk about this movie. And it's got Estelle Getty from Golden Girls. I mean, Estelle Getty in the same film as fucking Stallone. There's something about that just makes me so weirdly happy. It's such an odd and quirky comedy, man. Stallone is not really known for comedy, and Estelle Getty is, and so the two of them together is such an odd pairing that somehow it weirdly works, man. It's so weird and odd, man. But I had to pick it up, man. And the slipcover there, which looks great, and then the regular art on the inside. Oh my god, man, so cool. God, I know I got to get more Stallone, but why not start with some Stopper My Mom Will Shoot love? Doesn't everybody have this in the collection? Oh, I got that. And then last but certainly not least, I've been telling you guys that I've been slowly but surely trying to catch up on certain movies that I've been trying to get on physical media over the years. And, when I can go back and pick up some of the back catalog, I do it from time to time. And from Kino Lorber, I ended up picking up the Blu-ray edition of Terminal Velocity. Yes, with Charlie Sheen and Natasha Kinski. Oh my god, man. I love this movie, man. And I haven't seen this movie in years. And it's one of those movies that I've wanted on physical media. I know Kino Lorber had it. And I was just waiting for the right time, for the right price. And I just went for it in a big bad way, man. This is an odd action movie, dude. I mean, it's a great one. I mean, Charlie Sheen, Natasha Kinski is so good in this. James Gandolfini, Christopher McDonald. What a cast, man. And it's just great about this guy who is this sort of adrenaline junkie that falls in love with this mysterious woman, and they get caught in these lies and intrigue and deception, and it's such a wild ride of a movie and really cheesy and ridiculous. But this was the start of like going down in Charlie Sheen's career, man. He was sort of the Oscar guy and doing a lot of like Oscar award winning type of stuff and edgy films, and then he was starting to do movies like this and being more weird and odd Charlie. But it's so fun, dude. My god, go back and watch this movie. This just crazy, odd, action fueled fun with Charlie Sheen and Natasha Kinski and them getting together, sex and intrigue and lies and murder and like hardcore action. 90s style. Sure, man. We'll go ahead and do it, dude. So great, man. And I had to pick this up from Kino. So another one from the back catalog to finally get in the collection. Not half bad, man. I mean, it was kind of a small haul this week, dare I say. But you want to know what? I think it was a pretty damn good worthy one, dare I say. Some titles that are very unique. Ones that make you go, what the hell? And other ones that I've been dying to get for quite a while. And before I let you guys go, I gotta talk to you guys about something. As Master Yoda once put it, the streaming wars have begun. Yes, he did. Let's get into this very interesting article, shall we? Comcast might pull Universal movies from HBO Max and Netflix. The streaming Cold War may be about to get a lot hotter. Bloomberg reports Comcast may yank its Universal movies from HBO Max and Netflix while keeping all future releases as Peacock streaming exclusives. Under the current arrangement, HBO Max has the rights to stream Universal Pictures films roughly 9 months after they leave theaters. Netflix has a similar deal for Illumination movies like The Secret Life of Pets and the Despicable Me franchises. Both of those deals expire at the end of this year.
If Comcast follows through with the threat, it would be an aggressive punch. Peacock has stumbled out of the gate in part because its launch was supposed to coincide with the since postponed Tokyo Olympics. Peacock has roughly 33 million accounts, but the original programming library is slim. A recent deal to swallow the WWE network could provide a boost, although some wrestling fans have been upset with the Peacock interface and the decision to censor older content. Investment firm UBS estimates that by the end of 2021, the average U.S. home will subscribe to 3 streaming services. And as prices continue to climb, a cost-conscious audience will be forced to choose subscriptions. So who wins in that scenario? If you're going for exclusive content, Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO Max win the battle. If Comcast pulls the trigger, it might make a small dent against their current streaming partners and competitors. But would Universal exclusives alone be enough to bolster an entire streaming service? How many Jurassic World or Fast and Furious movies can one person watch? You'd be surprised. Now, Bloomberg reports some NBC Universal executives have also discussed a hybrid model where Peacock shares rights with another service. That's the current arrangement for shows like Modern Family available on Peacock and Hulu. Younger streamers like Peacock and Paramount Plus are miles behind Netflix and Disney when it comes to new original content already in the works. With production slowed by COVID-19, it's not like the newer services can flip a switch and release a new movie every weekend. It's also wildly expensive to produce these shows and films. How long can Peacock afford to bleed money before it pulls in enough subscribers to compete with the big boys? Indeed, guys, indeed. How long is it going to take? Yes, the streaming wars have officially begun. Actually, they've been going on for quite a while, guys. Now, I talked to you guys earlier about the idea of Godzilla vs. Kong making a lot of money and how theatrical releases are starting to perhaps trend in that direction and not really on streaming anymore. There's even talk of possibility of Dune skipping HBO Max release entirely and going straight to theaters just as an exclusive, no streaming whatsoever. There's at least talks of it. However, with the streaming wars going on, guys, with the streaming wars happening, there's a real push for content right now. And you have to give it up for Netflix and Disney Plus, because as much as we might complain about pricing, as much as we might complain about certain things on the platforms, you name it, they're always putting out content constantly. I mean, literally every single week, every single month, there's always something new to check out on those platforms. And it makes subscribing to them at least somewhat worth it. Whereas with some of these newer ones like Peacock, like Paramount Plus, like a lot of these ones out there, they don't have the new and original content. They have the older movies and the older content. And if you're a physical media fan like myself, you may already have a bunch of those titles in the collection, so why even bother actually subscribing to them? On top of that, I mean, streaming is going to get expensive. There's no doubt about it, guys. At this point, they're already raising prices every single year as it stands at this point. How many subscription services are you really going to subscribe to? I mean, think about it. I subscribe to a few at this point. I subscribe to HBO Max. I subscribe to Amazon Prime, which I also get with the free shipping, so it benefits me in that way. I have Netflix, and I have Disney Plus. Now, at a certain point, come possibly 2022, I'm going to be losing HBO Max, because if they're not putting out the actual films same day streaming as in movie theaters, then there's really no point to actually subscribe to HBO Max. Netflix, I'm pretty much always going to keep. Disney Plus is always on the edge. I'll probably get rid of it and then resubscribe when something good comes, and then unsubscribe again, and vice versa. Streaming services are vying for your hard-earned dollars, and they want you to subscribe to their platform. And the realistic idea is that content is at a premium at this point. I mean, think about this, right? As I talked to you guys, I believe last week, at one point, Netflix had the biggest library of movies and TV shows on streaming ever. And eventually, all of these different studios saw, all of the dollar signs, they saw them all, and they decided, why is Netflix keeping it when we could take it and we could make our own service? Disney took titles off, Warner Brothers took titles off, Paramount took titles off, and much, much more. But the good thing about Netflix is that they actually saw the writing on the wall years before that ever happened, and they started to make the original content. And so they were ahead of the game, whereas I think a lot of these others have not been. It's a very tricky situation at the end of the day because there's always more streaming services coming. I mean, you know, even though we've gotten more, I guarantee you within the next year we're going to get 10 to 20 more, and even more than that. And, I got rid of cable because it was too expensive. I was having a lot of channels that I wasn't watching, and I was paying so much money for a lot of content that I just had no interest in or didn't even watch. And now streaming is starting to get that way too. And at a certain point, we have to pick and choose, right? We have to make sure that we're getting our money's worth, right? Because why am I going to subscribe to a service that I own most of the movies from the service anyways? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm investing in a service that I already own the titles to, so I'm wasting my money. You know what I'm saying? I think as the streaming wars continue, and it's going to get brutal. It's going to get very cutthroat and very vicious. And there's going to be a lot of backdoor deals. There's going to be a lot of betrayal. There's going to be a lot of shady things that are going to happen because a lot of these companies are investing so much money into streaming. This is their be all end all. This is their end game because they realize that people are getting more comfortable at home. COVID-19 has changed things. And so it's no longer about, yes, you want people to go to the theatrical experience, but at the same time, you also want to make content for the streaming services. All of this costs money. And it costs money, that means you need more money coming in. That's why you need the subscribers to offset the cost of making this material. But then again, it's also about the material being good enough that people want to watch it, which is a whole nother thing in itself. I mean, Netflix knew what they were doing early on with a lot of really great shows that they acquired and other stuff that they've made, like Stranger Things and many others. Disney Plus has so many properties that they basically shit out gold at this point. But, if you're one of the other competitors, how do you do that? Do you strip away theatrical movies and take them straight to streaming even after the recovery of the pandemic happens, even after movie theaters open up? I mean, you need content. So are we going to start doing that more and more? Are we going to change things up? Are we going to piss off the theatrical, movie theater chains? Are we going to do that? Are we going to eventually steal content from other streaming services, perhaps? Or are we just going to get so desperate that we're starting to reboot everything? I mean, look at Apple TV. They're redoing Amazing Stories. CBS All Access redid The Twilight Zone, and we're just getting more and more stuff. And what happens with cable eventually? I mean, is cable going to go away? Are we only going to have streaming? And then what happens with that when that goes away? So all of our premium stuff is just going to go on streaming. We have to pay extra for that. I mean, where is this all going? Streaming is unpredictable. It's the Wild West at this point. And who will ultimately win the race? Nobody knows. But I got to tell you, it's going to be a fascinating ride, man, and definitely one worth diving into.
Guys, definitely let me know what you think about this. It's the Wild West indeed. I don't know who's going to come out on top, but boy, I just can't wait to see where the journey takes us. I really can, man. It's going to be wildly interesting, man. Definitely let me know what you think, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday videos. I've done movie hunting videos like Dollar Tree hunts, movie reviews with my friends, live streams, Blu-ray pickups, and much, much more. If you're a fan of movies and physical media, hit subscribe and become a fan of the channel. Guys, I want to thank all my subscribers. You guys are absolutely amazing, awesome, great feedback, liking the posts and the videos, and commenting, giving me a lot of great love, and hopefully I give the love right back to you guys. So thank you so much. And keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. FilmFan108. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. And if you guys want to send any movie-related goodness to the FilmFan108 headquarters, see the description down below where you can send it to the FilmFan108 P.O. Box. You can send all movie-related goodness to the channel. I will do subscriber mail videos and much more. Definitely check that out. And I will see you back next time for a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video. Take care, everybody. And as always, happy hunting.